Greetings everybody and welcome to another video. Today I, Umber Ray, shall take you through the news that is taking place on the JP side that will be of interest to global players. Yes, let's go through it. It should be noted that some news is still popping up for JP, but I think we're going to cover the really big news right away. So the 16th is going to be a 1-hour maintenance. In case people were not convinced at this point that, quality of life and maintenance updates to the game were kind of a little bit small, I mean, it's a heck of a thing when we can even just say, hey, game's down for an hour. And yeah, moving on. All right, next up, Arena. Hey, look, Ice is getting a interesting bonus this time around with a new map. We must be getting a new ice character. Yeah, we are. We are getting a new ice character. As a matter of fact, here he is. It is the brand new version of Gilgamesh. That's right, Gilgamesh, who has been very prominently featured in one of the new story updates, has gotten his upgrade, and he will be here to potentially return as a king. Depending, and we're gonna have to talk about how this character is and his abilities, because there's quite a wall of text that we have to get through. But he is an Ice Elemental 100 cost character. He has a brand new main job. His secondary jobs, I do believe, are the Spellblade. I believe Miranda's had it. Just taking a look at the icon, and the other type of Spellblade style class, which I do believe is Rush. I believe it's like Blade Soul and whatnot, right? Pretty sure. I might have gotten those two mixed up or whatever, but this should paint a very obvious picture to people out there who are curious about whether or not he's going to be physical or magical. This is going to be a magical type character, and it's very interesting given that mages have not completely fallen off on JP. As a matter of fact, Sephiroth has really pulled back mages potentially being generally good enough, which is kind of a weird thing to say because, Sephiroth is very physical. This character is going to be very magical. And I mean, just like breaking down for a minute about how this character could be. I mean, he could be potentially with Dario. There are like Rush with his more interesting limit burst upgrades. There is just a bunch of stuff going on in Katana where this character might find a bunch of unique homes. It's not necessarily even just with Velis, although that's certainly a possibility. The combinations with water and Water Veritas, the combinations with Earth, potentially with you Armont, and of course the King Daddy, of course, Sephiroth, potentially entering into fray with this character. I'd have to say that there's a fair amount of potential and possibility as to where this character just may end up. But it's exciting, to say the least, to say that I could see a lot of different avenues for where this character could end up being really good. The question is, will he be really good? Well, we'll have to wait and see. Reaction prevention rate plus 40 on his master hit, as well as debuff resistance rate up by 15, so he can't be debuffed as easily. And his own critical rates up by 10, so he has like a triple original master ability, which is something that we're starting to see with newer characters, of having a little bit more than other characters have had. Now, as for the details of this character, I do have it. I'm going to be using just my quick notes here from my phone. All right, so let's take a look at this one. The bottom ability, we're going to start our way at the bottom today, work our way up. A timeless resolution. Even if you receive lethal damage, you can survive only once. Now that, of course, is Immortal Spirit, surviving a fatal hit, as opposed to re-raise, which is more valuable nowadays given that Sephiroth cancels out re-raise just from his status effect, so good to see here. Also, an effect that, if that effect is in effect, grants an effect that seals target's removal of this Immortal Spirit for 4 turns, and this ability is given for 3 turns. So basically, any attacks hit the opponent, then they will cancel out any guts removal, immortal spirit removal, survive a fatal hit removal. All of that is generally sealed off. 4 turns applies an effect. Oh, sorry, I read that already. Skipping down the line. This is the interesting one. 4 turns to all allies within an area other than yourself. In a diamond shape area, range of 3, height difference of 1, activates an additional damage, non-attribute damage, and absorbs the damage dealt, deals guts removal, or sorry, eat something here. Okay, all right. So it's interesting to see this activates an additional hit, so he does have a secondary style hit, similar to You Are Mont, and absorbs the damage dealt off of it, which is pretty good. He's going to have another source of healing, and seals guts effect removal for 3 turns. Has no chain effect when taking damage from an attack ability. So this is curious because reading this ability obviously has a few extra caveats to it. Obviously, like protects the effect good. He definitely wants to be on a team that has this style of effect to make sure that he's protecting it as well. And the absorbing damage and the secondary hit, and the additional damage hit as a like when he gets hit is interesting. I'm curious about how effective this will actually be, because it doesn't seem that good unless it's classified maybe as a preemptive. I'm gonna have to wait and see exactly how it shows up in WOTV Calc and even test it out before I make too much of a judgment call. All right, as I take a shot here. All right, second ability removes the effect of reducing shell and magic damage from targets within range, reduces area resistance by a certain percentage, returns after 2 consecutive damage. So a lot here. First off, the range on it is quite big, giving him a little bit extra space to make sure that the diamond AoE does not hit him. Very nice there. Diamond AoE really good, but also just AoE shred on this character is very good for himself and potentially pairing with other characters such as Sephiroth or Spring June. What's even more interesting, I think, is that it's very good for magic damage dealers, getting rid of shell, getting rid of like prevention of magic damage is really nice on this ability. And last but not least, Flame Burst. After applying an effect that increases magic damage for yourself for 3 turns, magic dependent damage extra large, guaranteed hit to targets within range, and frostbite also. So we'll see whether this is comparable to Sephiroth. It's on a plus style AoE, though it's slightly bigger than it normally is with these, and has pretty good range flexibility, so it could potentially get. And in synergy with his other ability, it seems really, really good. So Gilgamesh, quite interesting to see. Like, he has some new stuff in his kit already. And when it comes to FFBE characters, I'm usually more inclined to give the doubt that these are the meta shapers. Usually with collaborations, there's like one character that maybe ends up being like specifically really, really meta, and that's been Sephiroth. But this character, just like Ashen Mont as well as Spring June, should have a pretty nice impact on the actual meta of, if nothing else, like spreading it out to more powerful teams. When we saw with Sephiroth in the previous weeks was just a lot of extra teams out there. Monofire is quite strong right now, which does make me think he might be a little bit more restricted in how strong he actually is when he first comes out. But we'll have to wait and see. Either way, it's quite impressive. Artwork looks fantastic, and it's cool to see the Veritas of Ice make it to the game already. So, there you go. All right, taking a look We also have some 6-star equipment. We'll take a look at that later. A new piece of weaponry will be available to be farmed for New Gilgamesh, and I expect it to be quite good. And a story update as well, which is generally pretty nice for just getting some extra resources, whatnot for players. So cool. So that's basically it. I don't think that there's anything else for now. Probably expect similar type banners to what we normally see for this time. I don't expect any kind of specialty banner or anything, although this is the time for JP's 0.5 anniversary. It hasn't been too terribly mentioned because I think they are essentially just celebrating the 1-year anniversaries of both Global and JP, not the 0.5s, but we'll keep an eye out for anything extra. So yeah, that's all for now. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Let us know in the comments below, the royal us, I guess, about what you think of our new Ice Lord. Do you think he'll be great with any specific teams, not with any specific teams? Should be curious to see how good he is in just a couple of days. So thanks so much for watching. Take care. See you later.